Hey, what's up, everybody? Listen, if you have not heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. Number one, it's free. Yeah, I got your attention now, right? Number two, there's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Number three, Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. Number four, you can make money from your podcast. That's right. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum viewership. Number five, it's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So right now, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. What's up, everybody? My name is Cliff, and you are listening to the What Now Podcast. That's right, the What Now Podcast, where we, through conversation, discuss ways that we can effectively address life's most difficult moments. So sit back, relax, and enjoy tonight's episode. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Transformation Radio. That's right, Transformation Radio, where we transform lives through purposeful conversations. My name is Clifton Pettyjohn. I'm a purpose strategist, author, transformation coach, spiritual leader. I provide tools and strategies to transition you from from the state of merely existing to living a life full of purpose. That's right, guys. We can live a purposeful life that we are enjoying, even though we're going through various trials and tribulations. We can still enjoy life when we begin to understand that we were created with purpose and that we were designed to live out purpose here on earth. Again, as I said, my name is Clifton Pettyjohn. You're listening to Transformation Radio. I'm excited to be back, guys. I just touched down on Monday. Well, I touched down from Orlando, Florida, but I'm back from the Bahamas. That's right, in celebration of my birthday, which was the 23rd, Cliffmas, and we are still celebrating even today. So, if you feel led to sow a seed or to purchase a gift, feel free to do so. You can give me at Cash App, the money sign, Clifton Pettyjohn, all right? And that's CLIFTONPETTYJOHN, all right? Now, listen, guys, I'm excited to be back with each and every one of you. It is Friday night. Those of you that are listening live, I appreciate you listening. You know why? Because you could be doing anything and everything on your Friday night. Trust me, I know and I do understand. That's why I want each of you to know, those that listen live, those that listen to the replay, I value your time. I don't want you to ever think that I do not value your time. And that's why I put together these shows packed with individuals that I believe, as I always say, they're changing the game as we know it, or they're making an impact or imprint in the lives of other people through what they do in life. They've connected with their purpose. And even though they have various things that they're going through and situations and circumstances that they are facing, they have understand that they are connected to a greater purpose. They're connected to a greater source. And because they're connected to a greater source, it's not that what they're going through doesn't matter. It's just that we begin to understand, and I put myself in that too, that we begin to understand that regardless of what we're going through, there must be something that we give our energy to that's greater than us. And as we give our energy to something that's greater than us, then we can begin to draw energy from something that's greater than us. So if you're out there and you're wondering, how can I get strength? How can I get energy? How can I go on with everything that's going on in my life? Connect to a greater purpose. Connect to a greater source. Connect to a higher power. Now, I don't know who you subscribe to. I respect who everybody subscribes to. who everybody subscribes to. I subscribe to Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus the Christ, Elohim, Yahweh, God. I subscribe to him, a personal, intimate relationship with him. My prayer, study, walking, talking with him has completely transformed my life. And I've taken that, and now it has allowed me to also be a part of the transformation of others. Does that mean everything goes smooth? Smooth? Absolutely not. Does it mean that I have all the answers inside of me? Yes. However, the reality is that I don't always connect with all of the answers inside of me. And that's why it's important to have community. That's why it's important to be connected to other individuals as well. So that's why when people say, well, what do I need a coach for? A coach simply allows you to tap into what's inside of you. A coach does not solve your problems for you, and maybe you hire a consultant that's going to do the work for you. But I tell everybody, if you want a real coach, that coach is just going to unlock or teach you to unlock what's inside of you, teach you how to tap into that wealth of that essence of value that's inside of you, so that you can begin to be who you were originally created to be. So my encouragement to you today, regardless of what you're going through, regardless of how it may look, how it may feel, tap into who you are. And if you're having problems tapping into who you are, connect with a pastor, connect with a leader, connect with a coach, someone that can help navigate you to where it is so that you can discover that which is already inside of you. If you want information about my coaching services, or you just want to have a conversation with me, you sit and you enjoy the show, you hear the conversations that we're having, and you say, Cliff, I want to have a one-on-one conversation with you. That's awesome. You can visit www.cliftonpettyjohn.com. You're going to get all the information there. Or you can text HELP in all capital letters with an exclamation mark. H-E-L-P. H-E-L-P. Let's not almost misspelled help. And sometimes we can get to the place where we need help so much we don't even know how to spell help. So if you misspell help and I can distinguish that that's what you're saying, then I understand the severity of the conversation that's needed with us, all right? So you can text HELP, as I said, to 302-648-5544, 302-648-5544, and we will get you the link that you need to get in order to set up a conversation with me. All right? Again, guys, I just want you all to know how much I really appreciate you. I'm not saying it just to say it. I really want you guys to know. I hear your feedback. I see your feedback. I see the numbers, so I know that you're watching. So I know you appreciate the content that we are putting out. Now, listen, we have tonight's show, and then on Sunday, we have another show. I'm going to be sitting down with Deron Essex. Oh, man, I'm not hyping up another guest on this show. I'm just going to let them open their mouth so y'all can see exactly why I place these guests on the show. So Deron's going to be with us on Sunday. On Monday, I'm sitting down and I'm talking to Evan Brown. Guys, again, not hyping up another guest. But those are two shows that you do not want to miss. Then on Tuesday night, we're having our year-end review show. I'm going to be talking about all the guests we had this year. I'm going to be telling you, some of the lessons I learned. As you guys know, I jumped this year. This was not something that I had planned on doing. This is not something I really was comfortable with doing. But I decided, hey, let's do this thing after being prompted by Yvonne Mason. And again, let's shout her out. Miss Yvonne Mason, guys. If you don't know her, take the time to follow her on your social media platforms. Let her know you're enjoying the show. Let her know you appreciate the opportunity that she has given to me, so that she knows that what she's doing, she already knows it's not in vain, but she can even know more that it's not in vain because people are being blessed by what she is doing for us. And I really appreciate her, especially on this month. Those of you that are regular listeners, you understand that our show usually airs the third Monday of every month. We have Transformation Radio 2.0, where we embrace the uncomfortable conversations that are connected to purpose. And then on the fourth Friday of every month is when we have Transformation Radio, where We transform lives through purposeful conversations. But if you've been following us this month, you know that if you listen to what I just said about the 4 shows, or this show and then the 3 other shows, you know that we had a total of 10 shows this month, guys. 10 shows on her network, guys. On her network, she made an opportunity for me to have 10 shows this month, and she heard my vision on what I wanted to do. And if you haven't heard it, I just wanted to give back. It's my birthday month. I wanted to provide you guys with a month full of encouraging messages from people from diverse backgrounds, diverse beliefs. I just wanted you to see, and I know that some of you might say, I really can't connect with any of them, and that's understandable. Everybody's not going to be able to connect with me. I get it. But if I continue to provide a platform where we represent diversity in excellence, then eventually somebody, you keep listening, somebody's going to say something that's going to pull on that which is inside of you, stir up that which is inside of you for you to understand just how great you are. All right? So I want you to keep listening. I want you to continue to be encouraged. Listen, we're going to take a little break right now, and here's why we're taking a break. If you listened, was it in, I think it was Transformation Radio 2.0 in November. I had a guest on, my little homie from Dallas, Texas. His name is Demetrius Moore, and he was talking about, the transformation he had in his life, and I watched him. I watched the growth. I'm proud of everything that he's doing. But guys, he's a singer, he's a songwriter, he's like talented out of this world. And he talked to us about a song, and we played a little sample of the song. But guys, the song was released while I was on the cruise, and guess what I did right while I was on the cruise? I purchased it myself. I was on that boat blasting that song like crazy, and tonight I want to premiere the full song here on the show. Now I'm going to play it. The artist name is Adia, I-D-I-A. The song is called Connect. It's written by Demetrius Moore. Go to all of your digital platforms and purchase it. Play it for everybody and let them hear it as well so they can purchase it. Why? Because I believe in supporting those who I know are in it for the right reasons. And this young man is in it for the right reasons. So listen, we're about to take a little break. I want you to relax and enjoy this song. Again, Connect, sung by Adia and written by Demetrius Moore.
Say you love me now, say you love me, say you want me now, say you want me. Say you want me. Come and dance with me, put your hands on me. My body, no they fear me. Come right here to me. My body, cruise so slow.
And there you have it, guys. That was Connect written by Demetrius Moore and performed by Adia, okay? And her album will be dropping sometime in 2020. But for right now, make sure you go to every digital platform and you download that song, all right? Connect. Now, here's what's up. I'm not going to have a long show tonight. I just want to talk to you guys about a few things. And one of the things I want to talk to you about is, just a forecast for 2020. And it's, as I said, I'm not going to talk about this long. Oh, call-in number. Listen, you guys already know the routine. If you want to call in and be a part of the conversation, you're welcome to. You just must be respectful at all times. I may say something you disagree with. If I have a guest on at the time, they may say something you disagree with. That's okay. But we all need to learn to disagree from a place of maturity and a place of respect. And if you disagree from those places, I don't have a problem with it at all. However, if you seem to disagree from a place that is not productive or that is counterproductive to the rules or the guidelines that I have laid out, then yes, you're going to experience me hanging up on you, okay? The call-in number is 516-387-1756, 516-386-1756. Now, if you have a question, about your personal life or anything you would like me to address or to talk about, or you just want to get something out, you're welcome to call in on tonight. But here's what I want to talk about tonight before I let you guys go. 2020 is coming. 2020 is coming. And not everybody celebrates, 2020 as the new year. I've shared on the show that my new year is actually during Rosh Hashanah. That's when I begin my New Year's, and it gives me acceleration towards, 2020 or the year that's to come, as far as that relates. But one of the things that today I posted something on Facebook, and I wanted to hear from other prophets, those who may not know. Yes, I am a prophet, okay? But I wanted to hear from other prophets, and what I wanted to hear from other prophets was, what was God saying to the prophets concerning 2020? Now, I know the very easy thing that everybody is saying, 2020, perfect vision, 2020, God's opening up eyes, and I get that, and I believe that. I'm a firm believer in that, but I do believe that if natural vision is perfected at 2020, then there must be another digital read as it relates to spiritual vision, because we must be able to see beyond that which is the natural. But we're not talking about that on tonight, okay? So I'm going to share some of the things that God has dealt with me about concerning the new decade in 2020, okay? And I hope this is an encouragement to the creatives. I want to talk to the creatives. I want to talk to the authors. I want to talk to those who write screenplays. I want to talk to those who write, what are they called, TV shows, series online as well as on TV. I want to talk to the artists. I want to talk to the songwriters, the singers, the choreographers. I want to talk to the architects. I want to talk to everybody that deals with the creative side or the creative nature of who they are. Okay? Now, I know that the term creative has been thrown around. It's been used very loosely. A lot of people look at it as a joke now, and people have looked at it as those who do not want to experience stability or those who don't want to take a normal route. Now, here's the thing concerning it. I am big on stability. I'm very big on stability. There are some areas of stability that I desire to become more stable in my personal life. But there is a normality to stability that can stifle someone's creativity or smother someone's creativity. I think there needs to be a balance there. But I believe that as we go into 2020, that your creativity is going to be what sets you up with what you need to be set up with, if that makes sense, okay? Now, what I'm saying is, I'm talking to the people who Don't sound like everybody else. Don't look like everybody else. Don't believe like everybody else. That has been considered the outsider, the black sheep, the ones that's ostracized, the one that's thought to be the fool, the one that's thought to be crazy. Some of your ideas have been so advanced that people have laughed at you about your ideas, and you've been ready to give up on some of those ideas because even yourself you wrestle with the craziness of those ideas. Well, here's my thing about it, guys. And sometimes we say things, and as we say those things, they kind of lose the momentum and the power and the influence and the authority behind them because we say them, out of necessity, or we say them just to say them. But I'm telling you now, if you have an idea, you're a creative, you have an idea, you have a dream, you have a vision, and somebody's not laughing at it, you have not connected with the most intimate part of that dream, of that vision, of that idea. There are some things you left off of paper. There are some things you made yourself forget out of your mind because you thought it was just too radical, it was too progressive, and it was too crazy. Listen, if you're going to be successful in 2020 or in this next decade, then you have to embrace the crazy side of that dream, the crazy side of that vision, the crazy side of that creativity. You have to embrace it. Why? Because that is what the world is waiting for. It's waiting for the manifestation of your creativity. You're getting frustrated. You're getting angry. It seems as if nobody is buying into what you're selling or nobody is participating in what you're offering. The reason is because you're not offering it in the dimension that it needs to be offered in. You settled in another dimension, expecting the dimension that you settled in to accommodate that which was built for the dimension that you're afraid to go in. You're afraid of that dimension because everybody in that dimension doesn't look like you. They don't sound like you. They don't smell like you. And I'm not talking from a negative sense, but it seems to be not the flavor of what you become accustomed to. And the reality is you've just become accustomed to that which you're not really connected to. Or you've connected to that which you become accustomed to that's fighting what you need to honestly be connected to. So my encouragement as we're going into 2020 is that you stop fighting the creativity that is inside of you and you begin to embrace it, the totality of it. Now, some of you might say, Clip, because I've embraced it. And we've said this, your purpose is found outside of your comfort zone. But I'm going to be honest with you. Some of us, although we may have stepped outside of our comfort zone, we stepped into, I saw this illustration the other day and I said, oh, this is beautiful. It talked about the comfort zone, and then outside of the comfort zone was the fear zone. And it talked about leaving the comfort zone because, you leave the place that you become comfortable with, but yet all you did was step out into a new realm that now you're really guided by fears. Now, I know some of you might say, no, I'm not, Cliff. I'm not guided by my fears. Can I just tell, my personal story? I had to realize that regardless of how much I've jumped, and I talked about climbing up and jumping off and, just allow myself to fly and do all of those things. No matter how much I've done all of those things, there still was a fear that gripped me concerning a lot of what God has called and designed me to do, because it just does not make sense. And I'm not just trying to put on fronts and airs. It honestly does not make sense. I don't like it sometimes. I'm afraid of it sometimes. I don't understand it sometimes. Sometimes I embrace it. Sometimes I reject it. Sometimes I feel like I understand it. Sometimes I know I don't understand it. Sometimes I feel like I got a grip on it, and then as soon as I get a grip on it, I lose grip of it. So I understand everything that everybody's going through as it relates to that creative side of who you are. However, if you are tired, if you're tired of repeating the same cycles over and over and over and over again, sometimes you got to get off that, what is it, a hamster wheel, whatever kind of wheel it is, that keeps spinning over and over and over and over again, and you're going nowhere. You got to step off of it. In order for that cycle to be broken, you have to begin to make some steps and strides to break it. 2020, this next decade, we're excited about it. We're ready for it. We're ready to divorce 2019, and we still have time in 2019, and we're not even realizing that as long as there's time, there's still opportunity for us to gain more momentum to head into 2020. But we just want, if we could wake up tomorrow and it be 2020, we'd be ready. But the reality is that if we wake up tomorrow and it's 2020, the only thing that has not changed is our mentality, our mindset, our outlook on this thing. And if we don't change our mentality, our outlook, our mindset on this thing, then we're going to have another 2019, another 2018, another 2017. I say this all the time. Nothing changes until we allow our mind to be changed. And if our mind is going to be changed, that means we got to begin to do some new exercise. New exercises with the mind. Those of you who lift weights, you understand that there's a thing called muscle memory. I believe there's a thing called mind memory. And sometimes we don't master the mind memory because we allow our mind to slip back into those memories that remind us of the last failure, the last disappointment, the last heartbreak. And sometimes we're not even looking at that from the right vantage point. If we can elevate our mind, we will begin to understand that heartbreak was deliverance. We can begin to understand that letdown was a release. We can begin to understand that disappointment was simply positioning us. Listen, I'm talking all fast. I'm excited. Okay, it sounds like I'm preaching and hollering. I'm sorry. Let me calm down. That disappointment was simply positioning us for purpose. And I'm not just saying that, guys. I want you to gain a new outlook because I don't want 2020 to look like what 2019 looked like to you. Some of you feel 2019 was a disappointment. It was not for me. 2019 was the year that I decided to take my life back. Now, in the midst of taking my life back, I realized that there were some areas of my life I was not ready to take back. There were some excuses that I love to make concerning some of those things. But then I also realized that if I'm going to take my life back, then I have to take responsibility for everything that's connected to me. And this leads to, with me going on this cruise. Some of you may not know this, but I take medicine for anxiety. I take medicine for anxiety because I struggle with social anxiety like crazy, okay? Social anxiety I have allowed to cost me jobs, promotions, opportunities, clients, friendships, partnerships, ministry affiliations, ministry connections, doors opening for ministry, relationships, good relationships, not them crazy situationships, not them crazy relationships, but them relationships. It's cost me a lot. And, I think, this year I made up my mind I was going to deal with the depression and the anxiety that I was facing. And I decided that along with God, along with prayer, along with my study life, along with my walk with God, I needed some medicine to help me regulate that thing, okay? So I began to take the medicine, and I started to see a little change in it and everything. So one of the things I knew that I needed to do in order to test this anxiety thing was to put myself in social opportunities that I many times would not put myself in. And this is all still going back to the creative, not changing who they are, connecting with who they are, even in their presentation. Don't try to dress up and look like everybody else. Now, I get it. There will be some things that require you to dress up. But don't just do it. Don't just go places just because it seems like a great opportunity. You have to look at the creative nature that God has given to you and make sure that opportunity is for you. And if they are trying to change who you are, the essence of who you are, I'm not talking about, character flaws that we may have that we can work on and become better. I'm talking about when they're trying to change the way you talk, the way you walk, the way you act, who you are, the essential value of who you are. No, baby, that's not for you. That is a setup to suck away all the creativity that's inside of you. So again, I knew I had to put myself in these various positions. And I did it. I did it for a lot of the years. Sometimes I experienced success, and sometimes it was not successful. But I knew my greatest test was going to come when it came to this cruise to the Bahamas, okay? Now, if you guys know me, as I said, and some may know me, and even those that know me may not know how I struggle with anxiety. I always label it as I'm introverted, and I'm very introverted. I'm a very quiet person until you get to know me. I don't mind being by myself. I enjoy time by myself. However, sometimes too much time by yourself is not good. Too much of anything is not good. We need balance in our lives, okay? So I knew going was going to be one of the greatest challenges of my life, okay? So I went, and I haven't flew in years. That's another thing that it stopped me from doing was flying. That was quite an experience. I wasn't scared to fly. I just don't like going into places not knowing what I'm supposed to do. And so much has changed over the years with flying. There was a lot of things I just didn't know I was supposed to do at the airport, as I'm preparing to fly. But, you live and you learn. And I'm going to tell any of you, if you are still holding yourself back from doing things that you're not great at, then no wonder you're not experiencing purpose, because purpose will position you sometimes to be will place you in a position where you will not be great to see how you react. You will have to ask questions to see how you react. You will have to depend on other people to see how you react. And I'm a person that doesn't like to depend on other people, because here's what happened. Some years back, well, just this year, I got my driver's license back because I had some eye situations. But I remember I didn't like to go a lot of places because I could not see a lot of things. So if I go out to eat, I couldn't see a menu. If it was something I needed to focus on, I really couldn't see it unless I was up close on it. And sometimes, it just didn't work out good. So I would have to depend on people to tell me, well, what's on the menu or where I need to go or whether I need to go left or go right. I wasn't blind, but it was like my sight was not that great, okay? And a lot of times, some of the people, whether they did it intentionally or did not know they were doing it, the attitude that they gave off made me not want to be a burden to anybody. And here's what I want to say to each of you. Just because you may be a burden to somebody else, don't allow others to miss out on the opportunity of serving you or doing something for you that may find a blessing in doing it because somebody else didn't appreciate it. Never measure other people off of your experience with somebody else. I'm learning that. Okay? So I didn't like to ask questions because of, some of that was dealing with that. But anyway, I fly, I get down there, and we get on the boat. I say we get on the boat. And as we get on the boat, I'm excited now because it's like, number one, I'm turning 40. So it's time to have a good time. And anybody knows me, I'm not a partier. I don't think I partied since high school. And as I said, I just turned 40. Okay. But I purpose in my heart, this time I'm going to have fun. I'm going to have the full experience of this cruise. And I got on the cruise, and the next day I went to take my medicine, and I realized I didn't bring enough medicine for the whole cruise. So I started panicking, thinking that, oh my God, I'm going to have an anxiety attack, or, it's just not going to turn out good. But I made up in my mind, this is going to be my year. So in the midst of it all, I went with a group, and they were a group of great people. And I hope if any of them listen to this, I hope they didn't take me doing things on my own as me thinking I was better than them or me just not wanting to be around them. I knew I needed to do this for me. This was something I needed to do for me. As I said, going was big for me, y'all. It was big for me. But celebrating with myself was even bigger for me. Like, I wanted to do everything that I wanted to do. And this was like a first time doing something like that for me. So I didn't participate with a lot of the things that they did. I don't think I participated with anything they did on the boat. And again, I hope if they are listening, they understand It was nothing against them. This was just something I had to do for myself. Y'all, when I tell you I had a great time, do you hear me? I went the Bahamas. This trip to the Bahamas was a lot of firsts for me. There was a lot of firsts for me. It was a lot of firsts in a long time for me. So I'm grateful that I went. I'm excited that I went. I did not sleep much while I was on there because, like I said, I wanted the full experience of everything. So I made sure I had the full experience of everything. Okay? And I, I'm just recovering now. Maybe today or yesterday. Well, I said I recovered yesterday, but then I slept in again today. So maybe I'm just recovered today. But I wanted to tell that story because I realized that no matter how much I jumped and was outside of my comfort zone, being on that boat, or on that ship, it helped me realize some of the fears that I still had, some of the fears of crowds that I still had. But this time I had a different mindset concerning the fear of crowds. Instead of running from the crowds, I ran into the crowds. Instead of running from being around people that I didn't know, I gravitated to people that I didn't know. I communicated with people that I didn't know. Now in ministry, I can do that. I can stand in front of a room, even with coaching. I can stand in front of a room with people that I don't know, and I can demand that room, energy flow through that room, and it be exciting. I can do one-on-one coaching sessions with you, and it's exciting. But when it comes to other things, I run from crowds. I run from the uncomfortable things. That I know that if I'm going to be successful in all facets of life, I must deal with that. And no, it may not always become comfortable to me, but I can deal with the awkwardness of it by me embracing it even more. And that's what I did on this trip. I did it on this trip, and I'm excited that I did it, but I know that it was just momentum towards the next year. I did not change who I was. I did not try to pretend to be anybody else. I didn't change how I dress. I didn't change the way I talk, the way I walk, any of those things. I embraced the totality of who I was, and I was embraced by individuals that did not know me at all. And that's the thing I want you all to understand. You have to embrace who you are. 2020, this next decade, is for creatives. It's for entrepreneurs. It's for those who think outside the box. It's for those who don't make sense. Now, I'm not saying that those who are logical won't benefit from it, but I'm talking to the creatives right now. And even those who are logical thinkers that have been fighting the purpose and design that is in your life, I encourage you to take your logical processing, and also embrace the craziness of your purpose. Embrace it. The logic and the creative can work together. And if we can get the logic and the creative to work together, my God, what can we create? So I want you to know 2020 is your year. This next decade is your decade, but it needs you to be you. It needs you to be you. God doesn't need you to be anything more than who he created you to be. Why? Because you are more than enough. And another thing, stop trying to sit at tables that can't accommodate you. If they don't want you there, stop trying to make yourself fit in there. And then crying out rejection. Now, I know rejection is real. But some of the things that we have labeled as rejection is not rejection. It's us rejecting ourselves. It is us rejecting ourselves. And as long as you reject who you are, as long as you reject your creative nature, as long as you reject the essence of your creation, as long as you reject you, you will always place yourself in places that makes you feel the blunt of rejection. But the reality is, it's not necessarily the place that's rejecting you, nor the people that's rejecting you, but it's the atmosphere of rejection that you created. Maybe if you embrace who you are what you've been called and designed to do, what you've been purposed to do, the way that you've been purposed to do it, then maybe that which you were called, the place that you feel is rejecting you, would actually embrace you. Maybe you're maybe you're called to a place to be the hope, and you're just trying to be there to fit in. Maybe that's why they're rejecting you, because they know that there's something different about you that they need, but you won't embrace the difference about you that they're trying to pull on because you're just trying to be them. I've done that before. God has called me to places to help. He told me, I've called you here for such and such and such and such. But because I wanted to fit in, I was dealing with that. I never fit in from a child. I was too white for black people and too black for white people. I was too corny. I was too ghetto. I was too this. I was too that, whatever. I was dealing with all of that. So I just wanted to fit in. And because I fit in, all hell broke loose to get me out of there, to make me face the reality. You messed that up. And I can take ownership of that. It failed because of you. No, you're not a failure. But that failed because you wouldn't embrace your purpose. Now, I don't want you to feel like I'm attacking you in any way, shape, or form. I would never do that. However, I am speaking to the greatness that's inside of you. And sometimes when we speak to the greatness inside of us, the mediocrity that we've embraced gets frustrated, gets angry, feels picked on, feels as if I'm talking as if I'm better than you. No, baby, I'm talking to me too. I'm going to go back and play this episode. And when I play this episode, I'm going to say, man, I was talking to me and I need to clean this up and clean this up and clean. And I'm not saying that means that you're not enough. Understand, you are whole. You just haven't embraced all the whole pieces or connected the pieces together to recognize the wholeness inside of you. You're whole, baby. He made you whole. He made you in his image and his likeness. Come on now. You are whole. You just haven't grasped the reality that you are whole. And until we grasp the reality that we're whole, that's why we need community. That's why we need the coach. That's why we need the therapist. Got to set my appointment up this next week. I haven't seen him in a while. I got a lot to tell him. But that's why we need each other, because we haven't acknowledged the wholeness that's inside of us. And if we ever acknowledge the wholeness that's inside of us, the force that we could be, the force, not that we could be, the force that we will be. You know why? Because we're going to embrace it. I'm going to purpose in my heart, with my whole heart, that 2020 and beyond with Transformation Radio, we are going to make sure that we provide the tools, the strategies, the techniques for you to position you for success. Do you hear me? I'm getting people from all walks of life to make sure that we position each and every one of you for success. Again, guys, as I said, it's not going to be long. I'm going to get off of here. This was not the planned show tonight. We did have a guest. Something came up. They were not able to make it, but I still wanted to get on with you guys and talk to you. Just let you know, I'm back from the Bahamas. My birthday was wonderful, 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 wonderful. I want to share one last thing with you guys before I go, though. One of the greatest lessons this birthday taught me, one of my friends posted something on Facebook about it. Man, I read that thing and I said, good God Almighty, who is this man that he speaks of? Like, I'm joking about it now, but seriously, I was like, wow, like my heart began to break as I was reading it. And I mean, you know, I'm a G, so I waited till I got by myself and I cried. But it was so powerful. My cousin wrote me and said, I read with Del Quan, this is my brother, he was on the show, Prophet. Delquan. He was on the show. She said, I read what he wrote. She said, and man, I'm sitting here now trying to figure out what I'm going to say about you because, man, what he said about you was powerful. Now, here's the thing about that. He really said some things, and I can say now everything he said was true. But reading it, I was struggling with if what he was saying was true because I hadn't released myself from some things that I had done. Man, years ago, whether it was to other people, to myself, or whatever, I hadn't released myself from those things. So what I would do, and I'm going to tell you guys this, I'm going to encourage you not to do this, not just as we enter a new decade, but as we're closing this decade. Never spit on somebody's honor of you by dishonoring who God created you to be because you haven't forgiven yourself of stuff that you've done that God has forgiven you and other people have moved past. And even if they haven't moved past it, don't you dare do that again. Don't you dare do that again. And here's the thing. This is why you got to be delivered from people. And every now and then you'll get a refresher course to understand you're not as delivered from people as you think you are. Because that's what happened to me. As I was processing this on the trip, as I was laid out on the top deck sunbathing, God began to remind me that it wasn't necessarily that I wasn't willing to forgive myself. I was worried about what others who knew some of the things that I did before, what they would say and what they would think if they read what he said. And it wasn't just what he said. It's a lot of times when people honor me and say stuff about me, and I just be like, oh, man, they don't even know me. They don't even know me. And some be like, oh, Cliff, you're so humble. No, that's not laced with humility. That's laced with fear of what I've done in the past, or that's laced with me not forgiving myself for the things I've done in my past. And that weight, I still was carrying that. And when he posted that, and I began to see the people that were liking it, it rekindled some things inside of me. And I had to realize, Cliff, let it go. Now, I know you'll say, oh, shanda da 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 kasando. You know, we're going to have a church moment, okay? You let it go. But the reality was, I've told myself that before. I've said I was going to let it go before. Well, what clicked and changed this time? What clicked and changed this time was the reality that what he was saying about me was the truth. It was the truth. Whether I wanted to be honest about it or not, everything he was saying was the truth. And I had to let myself go from those places and those spaces where I didn't make good decisions, where I allowed other people's lies to make me look bad just for the sake of them saving face. I had to let myself go and realize that, Cliff, God is positioning you in a place where people will honor and respect who you are. But you must be the first one to honor and respect who you are. Now, somebody said, that's not humble. Yes, it is. I'm honoring and respecting the God that's inside of me and who he's created me to be. So as you go into this year, if you're still holding on to it and it's hard for you to embrace compliments or someone honoring you, drop all of that, because you can't expect to be honored when your atmosphere says dishonor me. And I'm beginning to think back now, and I'm like, maybe this is why I experienced some of the dishonor, because I refused to honor what God was attempting to honor inside of me through other people. So it's a year of the creators. It's a decade for the creators, for the entrepreneurs, for those who will dare not just to dream, but dare to execute. But it's also the year for those that God desires to honor, to stand up and allow themselves to be honored in humility. by moving on from the things that they find it hard to let go. Can I pray for you guys? I don't think I prayed on this show yet, but I want to pray for you guys on tonight, all right? Oh, and I realize we done almost went an hour. Lord, I done preached on here. Do we need to take up an offering? Let me stop for people saying I'm all about money. And another thing, I want to talk to you other entrepreneurs. Don't you let people who don't value what's inside of you tell you you're all about money. The reality is, if you provide quality service, then the price that you set needs to be honored. Now, if God deals with you about sowing, sow, but don't let guilt, shame, or your feelings of God, how can I say this? Your feeling of obligation cause you to offer free what God is attempting to cause others to invest in, so that now you can be blessed and then they in turn be blessed as well. Don't you not another day lower your price beneath that which it needs to be set at. Do you hear me? All right, let's pray. Father, we thank you. We glorify you. I thank you for each and every one of my listeners on tonight. I praise you for the opportunity to minister to them, God. That's what this is. It's ministry, God. I thank you for the opportunity to minister to each and every one of them and to minister to myself. I take not lightly you speaking to, through, and for me, God. Now I'm praying for every entrepreneur, every creative, every author, every screenwriter, every artist, every poet, God, every educator, every entrepreneur, every CEO, every CFO, everyone that you have given creative expression to whatever degree, every singer, every songwriter, every dancer, God, those who mime, as well as those who interpret, God, for those that cannot hear, God. I praise you for each and every one of them, God. I praise you for the inventors, God. I praise you for a fresh wave of inventions, God, that is coming, God, to our communities, God. I give you praise for it now, God. I thank you for those that you are connecting together, binding together groups of corporations, God, that will own, God, real estate, God. Groups, God, that will, God, be investors, God, in the medical field, in the arts, God, in education, God, in every sphere of influence, God. I give you praise for it right now. I praise you for reawakening dreams and visions on the inside of individuals, God. I praise you now for going into the hearts and the minds of your people, God, and beginning to do reconstructive surgery, God, where hurt, God, where fear, where apprehension has ruled, God, and become God in their life, God. I release the freshness of your spirit right now to begin to flow like it's never flown in their lives before, God. Where, God, there's hurts, God. Lord, where there's apprehensions about going forth because of thoughts of others, thoughts about themselves, God. We break that right now, God. The thoughts of suicide, physical, spiritual, emotional, God. We crush it right now in the name of Jesus, God. The sleep and slumber, God, that has fallen upon individuals from procrastination, God. We break that right now in the name of Jesus, God. And I pray, God, that every single person that is listening to this live and listening to this recording, God, that they will tap into, God, that creative genius that's inside of them, God, that creative monster that resides inside of them, God. Lord, I pray, God, that even in their sleep, God, those that have been tortured and tormented in their sleep, God, they used to dream, God, revelatory dreams, God. They used to interpret dreams, God. They used to flow prophetically, God. They used to be like the sons of Issachar, God, that understood the time, God. I pray that you will awaken that right now in the name of Jesus, God. I pray, God, that it not wait till 2020, God, that it begin tonight, God, as they hear, I was going to say this teaching, God, but as they hear this broadcast, God, I pray that right now in the name of Jesus, God. I lose strength to them, God. God, I speak to the dry bones right now, God. I go to Ezekiel 37, God, and I command the great army to stand, God. Lord, I command the bones to connect, God. I command the flesh and the sinew to form, God. Now I call upon your breath, God, from the four corners of the earth, God. Lord, I call upon the Ruach HaKodesh to breathe life into them right now in the name of Jesus, God. I pray that now every author that's struggling with writer's block, God, Lord, I pray now that you will open your treasure unto them, God, that they won't just finish writing this book, God, but that writing in blockage will never be a situation they'll face again, God. Even those that write screenplays and those who write television shows, God, even those who are ghostwriters, even those who write songs, God, that it will never be a blockage again, God, because they will connect with the essence of who you have created them to be, God. I pray that right now in the name of Jesus. I even pray for those, God, that are in need of healing, God, whether it's physical healing, emotional healing, spiritual healing, psychological healing, God, but God, those things that are plaguing them, that God, that has halted them from doing what they have been created to do, God. You said that by your stripes we were healed, God. Now I release the manifestation of your healing in each and every one of their lives now, God. Open up eyes, God. Unclog ears, God, spiritually and naturally, God, that we may see more clearly than we've ever saw, that we may hear more clearly than we ever heard, God. Lord, I even pray for strength upon limbs, God, that we will walk, God, and not faint, God, that we will run and not become weary, God. I pray that right now in the name of Jesus. And we'll give you glory, we'll give you honor, and we will give you praise in your most holy name that is above all names, Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus, the Christ, we pray, and we all say amen. Listen again, I guess we got a little churchy tonight, but I just want to encourage you all to understand that there's greatness inside of you, and the only person that can cause that greatness to stay locked up inside of you is you. It's not the devil. It's not your mama. It's not your brother. It's not your sister. It's not your auntie. It's not your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your wife, your husband. It's not any of those things. It is you. You are the only one that has the power and the authority to release that which is inside of you. Why? Because God has given you that power and that authority to release it. Do you understand what I'm saying? He's given you that power and authority to release it. Therefore, my encouragement to you tonight, as we're about to go off of this air, is that tonight, if you forget everything that I said, is that you connect with the essence of who you've been created to be, and don't allow anyone to change who you are. Don't try to be anybody else. But you were created in his image and likeness. He created you for you to be the best you that you could be, and you will never be the best you that you can be until you embrace the totality of who you are. Listen, guys, stay connected with me, www.cliftonpettyjohn.com. And if you want to connect with me on social media, definitely hit me up by just typing in Clifton Petty John on all social media platforms, okay? As I said, connect with me. If you need to call or set up a call, text HELP to 302-648-5544. And as I always say, create a great day, walk with purpose, and by all means, guys, execute your vision. Be blessed.
Can you identify any areas in your life where stagnation is manifesting? Now, I know some of you might say, no, I can't. Well, I want us to look at stagnation for what it really is. Some people have identified stagnation as something that's not growing or that's not producing. I don't believe that's stagnation. To me, stagnation can also be that yes, we're growing, yes, we're producing. However, we're growing and producing in a manner that's disrespectful to the purpose and the greatness that resides inside of us. And listen, we all have areas where we can identify that we could be doing a lot better in. There's greater potential in those areas than we are experiencing. And guess what? I have a tool that will help you begin to experience transformation in those areas of stagnation in your life. And that tool is called From Stagnation to Transformation. That's right. That is my book, From Stagnation to Transformation. So I want you to head over to my website, www.cliftonpettyjohn.com. I want you to hit there. I want you to hit the Transformation tab. There you're going to find a free preview of my book. That's right, a free preview of my book. And I promise you, after you read the preview, you're going to want to invest in your personal transformation through purchasing the book. So again, head over there. Purchase the book. Let me know you purchased it. Here's what I always say, guys. If you purchase the book, you read the book, you apply the principles in your life, and yet you still are stagnant in the areas that you are applying them to, and you're not experiencing any transformation, and you can prove to me that you have applied these principles, I will give you a 100% refund. That's right, a 100% refund. Why? Because I believe in the application of the principles that are outlined in this book. So again, visit www.cliftonpettyjohn.com and purchase your copy of From Stagnation to Transformation.